Hey guys, Tina here and welcome to another wrap-up video. I managed to finish 3 more books, so I want to talk about those. But before I get to that, I would like to thank all my new subscribers for somehow finding me and hopefully enjoying it here and sticking with me. I'm slightly lazy when it comes to booktube right now. I don't really watch it a lot and I also don't film that much. I'm just really struggling with reading again. I am reading, but there are days when I just don't feel like doing that. So I guess I'll have to realize that that's sort of a cycle now, that it's something more common in my life, and just go with it. Read when I feel like it and not when I don't feel like it, and it's gonna be just fine. Another thing that I want to mention is that I got my first dislike, or at least the first one I noticed. So now I feel like I can actually call myself a YouTuber. It's sort of like a rite of passage, I feel like, when you get the dislike. I don't know, I'm just babbling here, but it does feel like, you know, now I actually am officially a YouTuber, and I find it hilarious, actually. I was talking to my friend, and you know, when I saw that I got a dislike, and I started laughing so hard. She was really confused what was going on, but I don't know, I just find it really funny, and thank you, whoever you are. Thank you for that, because I do appreciate it. I mean, it's I don't understand dislikes in general. I've never given one, except by mistake, and then I now clicked it again and clicked like and all that, but I think it's just a useless thing. But still, thank you. You made my day, so I guess that's something. But yeah, let's get to the books that I've read, and the first of those is Lady Helen Investigates by James Steen. I received this as an ARC copy over NetGalley, and this book comes out actually on the 14th of March, so, you know, soon, or already out, maybe, I don't know when I'm going to be posting this. And on NetGalley, it's classified as a murder mystery thriller type of book, which I slightly disagree with that classification, because yes, there's murder, but it's not your typical murder mystery type of book. It's more or less historical fiction, and all the investigating that happens sort of happens by mistake. Really, it's unintentional. So I think I would classify it as a historical fiction with elements of mystery, okay? I think that would be better and slightly less misleading. Not that it bothered me that much, but I'm pretty sure that some people are a bit more serious when it comes to murder mysteries and all that, and this is not exactly your typical book in that genre. Anyways, this is a story of Lady Helena. She just lost her husband, and now she's bombarded by her family, and she's in mourning, and she basically has to figure out her life, what it's going to be like after her husband's died, because now she's basically the owner of this mansion, and she has a lot of money at her disposal, which is something that she never had before, because women in the 1800s, of course, were not quite as free as we are today, for the most part. And of course, you know, she always, when it came to money, she would always have to go to her husband if she wanted something. But now she's free when it comes to that, and for the first time, of course, she's also on her own, and she has to figure out who she is as her own person, you know, because she went from being engaged to her cousin who died, and then leaving her family to go to her husband, and now she's on her own, and she starts exploring plants again, because that's one of the hobbies that she used to enjoy, and she wants to sort of relive that or get back into that. And along the way, she sort of stumbles into these mysteries that she then explores. And there's not much more than I can tell you about this book, because it does follow her everyday life, and it doesn't sound really interesting as such, but I really enjoyed it. I mean, when I read the synopsis on NetGalley, I thought that I was going to enjoy it, but yeah, you never know for sure. But I really did. I really liked the writing. It was really engaging, and it made me like Helena so much. She was a great protagonist, and I really enjoyed her story, and I liked how she evolved throughout the book, how she grew up and became her own person, and she stood up to her family and all that, and I really enjoyed it. So if you're looking for something like that, like a really strong female, I wanted to say girl, but she's an adult, a really strong female protagonist, and I don't know, I think this is a great book, honestly, and it's going to be really cheap. I think it's like $2 on Kindle, so, you know, you don't lose much if you don't like it. but I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait for the sequel. But I think this is going to be actually a series, so I'm really looking forward to that because I want to learn more about her. There's definitely a few options that were opened, you know, for the future books, and I hope it's a series, because I'm going to be really disappointed if it's not. But I loved it. It was one of my favorite books, definitely my favorite out of the 3 books that I'm going to talk about in this video. Anyways. So the next book then that I read was a novella. Actually, both of the next 2 books are novellas. And the first of those is All Systems Red by Martha Wells, which is book 1 in the Murderbot Diaries. And it tells the story of this AI who tinkered with its module and is now basically independent. You know, you can give it orders, but it will do whatever it wants. And it calls itself Murderbot, but that's probably not the right term. But there are reasons why it named itself that. And we basically get to follow this Murderbot as it gets through everyday life, as it is a slightly depressed AI who's struggling to figure out who it is, what it wants to do in life, and it enjoys watching shows and movies and reading books and stuff like that. It's not a typical machine in any ways, and I really enjoyed it. It's sarcastic and cynical and just very down on itself, and really likable. It's sort of an introvert as well, so we can relate to that, and I'm really liking this series so far. Of course, there's a bit of mystery again. It is employed by this group of scientists who are exploring this planet for potential you know, resources, and there's a bit of conflict there because there's another team that sort of gets attacked, and then they're of course worried about what happened and all that, so there's a mystery that they have to explore as well, and this murder bot sort of gets entangled in that, and a really enjoyable read, easy to get into. The first paragraph was amazing and it drew me in and I loved it, so I'm really looking forward to more in this series. I think there's going to be like 4 books in total, and I cannot wait for the next one to come out. And the last book that I want to talk about is Sight Witch by Susan Dennard, which is a prequel novella in the Witchland series, which I adore. This book slightly less, and it's funny because I did talk about this book in one of my wrap-ups before, because I did receive a preview excerpt of this book over on NetGalley, and I did enjoy it, but when I picked this one up, I sort of struggled with it. I just didn't feel compelled to read it. It didn't draw me in, and it took me a while to read it actually, which is funny because it's rather short. I think it's like around 200 pages, 240, I don't know, yeah, something like that. And it really didn't engage me. Ryber as the main character was just not likable to me. I really didn't care for her all that much. But yeah, before I get to that. So this is the story of Ryber, a character that we meet in Wind Witch, and we follow her story as she's trying to become Sight Witch, which is a sisterhood of witches, and we get to learn a lot about that world, and also a lot about the history of Witchlands, how magic came to be, how it evolved, and how Sight Witches are involved in all that, and how all that past history is affecting the world of right now, which also affects all the characters that we already know from this series. So in that regard it's interesting, but Ryber as a character, I mean, most of the book just sort of dragged from me. I didn't find it interesting, which is disappointing. Yes, we get to learn all these interesting things, but I don't know, I just didn't really like it as much as I expected to, given, you know, that I did like the excerpt. So I don't know what that was about, but yeah, anyways, the formatting of this book is really interesting. It's written as a diary, so you have notes and pages inside. Okay, bless me, I guess. And you know, I did like that. And we also, there's another diary. It's not just Ryber that we follow, but some other sister Sight Witch. Anyways, wait, I'm just going through the book trying to show you something else. But yeah, there's a lot of these notes in that make it really fun and enjoyable. But as I said, I I think that if you are a fan of the series, you should probably read it just because of the information that is involved and that it will affect future books. But I don't know, it didn't make me like Ryber all that much, I have to say, but yeah, it is what it is. So anyways, those were all the books that I managed to read in the last couple of weeks. As I said, I'm struggling a bit with reading again. I'm supposed to read the short list, you know, from BookTube SFF Awards, and I'm not feeling that right now, so we shall see how that will go. But yes, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching and see you in my next one. Bye!